Beneath the grand halls of a forgotten European kingdom lies a legend few dare to speak of. It is said that deep under the royal palace, there was once a chamber built for secrets never meant to be seen. This place was known only to the monarch and their most trusted inner circle. The chamber, hidden behind an unmarked iron door, was lined with thick stone walls and sealed with a locking mechanism older than the kingdom itself. No maps or official documents mention its existence. Even palace architects were unaware of what lay behind it. The entrance was accessible only through a winding staircase concealed within the library. The stairs spiraled downward for what felt like an eternity, lit only by faint torchlight. The air grew colder and heavier with each step. Inside, the chamber was decorated not with gold or jewels, but with dark, intricate carvings depicting battles, oaths, and mysterious rituals. The symbols etched into the walls have never been fully deciphered. Historians still debate their true meaning. At the center stood a single iron chair, unlike any throne. Its design was rigid and severe, its frame embedded with strange mechanisms. Some believed it was symbolic, a reminder of the burdens of power. Others whispered it had a darker purpose. The Iron Crown, an artifact of unmatched craftsmanship, rested in a glass case beside the chair. Legends claimed it was forged not only to rule, but to bind the ruler to ancient oaths. The crown seemed to hum softly in the stillness of the chamber. Only a handful of monarchs ever wore the Iron Crown. Each who did reportedly suffered vivid dreams, visions of past kings, unfinished wars, and shadowed figures who offered cryptic warnings. These dreams drove some to paranoia, others to brilliance. The chamber was a place of decisions that shaped history. Treaties were signed there, alliances forged in secrecy, and fates sealed away from public view. It was not a room of celebration, but of heavy, irreversible choices. In times of crisis, the ruler would descend into the chamber alone. It is said the crown's whispers grew louder the longer it rested on their head. Some emerged with new resolve. Others never emerged at all. One particularly grim chapter in the kingdom's history involved a young queen who vanished after entering the chamber. Her disappearance sparked uprisings and unrest that nearly toppled the dynasty. The chamber was sealed soon after. Theories about what happened range from assassination to voluntary exile. Yet none explain the strange sounds reported from beneath the palace in the nights following her disappearance. Witnesses described them as rhythmic, almost mechanical. When a new ruler took the throne decades later, they ordered the chamber reopened. The iron door resisted every attempt to force it open, as if the palace itself rejected the idea. Workers claimed the lock was warm to the touch. A royal historian studying the crown's origins discovered that its design matched artifacts found far from the kingdom's borders. This suggested a connection to an older, possibly more powerful civilization that predated the palace. The crown's inner band contained small inscriptions, invisible unless held under a certain kind of light. These markings did not match any known language. Attempts to translate them produced unsettling interpretations about binding and returning. Over time, the chamber passed from fact into legend. The public knew only fragments of the story, passed down through whispers and half-remembered ballads. Children dared each other to sneak into the palace cellars, hoping to find the staircase. A later monarch, skeptical of the stories, ordered the cellar explored. The staircase was gone, replaced by a seamless stone wall. No records explained when it had been sealed or by whom. Some claimed the chamber could only be found by those the crown itself chose. This gave rise to myths that the Iron Crown was alive in some way, able to influence events in the kingdom from its hidden seat of power. In times of war, rumors would resurface that the crown had been worn again. These periods were marked by sudden strategic brilliance, and, just as suddenly, catastrophic mistakes. It was as though the crown offered both wisdom and ruin. When the palace was finally abandoned centuries later, explorers searched desperately for signs of the chamber. They found only empty rooms, crumbling corridors, and a lingering sense of being watched. One team reported finding an iron key deep in the archives. It was strangely heavy for its size, and the teeth of the key seemed to shift slightly when no one was looking. The key was lost soon after, vanishing from its display case overnight. Legends say the crown remains in the chamber, waiting for a ruler bold, or foolish, enough to claim it. Some believe that when it is worn again, the kingdom will rise from the ashes. Others fear it will bring only ruin. Old maps of the palace grounds hint at tunnels beneath the gardens that lead to unknown destinations. Whether these tunnels connect to the chamber is a mystery no one has solved. Local folklore warns travelers to avoid the palace ruins during storms. On such nights, faint lights can be seen moving deep below the ground, and the sound of metal scraping against stone echoes in the distance. Even today, scholars argue whether the chamber was real or a fabrication to frighten political rivals. Yet every so often, a new clue emerges, a scrap of parchment, an engraving, or an unexplained artifact that points back to the legend. Perhaps the truth will never be known. But somewhere beneath the earth, the Iron Crown may still rest, humming softly in the darkness, waiting for the next hand to lift it and seal their fate forever.